I found my wife's secret phone hidden inside our daughter's toy box, and the moment I turned it on, every text message confirmed my worst fear: she had been planning to leave with someone else for months. My name is Mark Delaney. I am 36 years old, and I live in Columbus, Ohio. I work as a project manager for a construction firm, the kind of job that keeps my hands busy and my mind tired by the end of the day. My wife, Rachel, is 34. She worked part-time at a pediatric office downtown. We have a 6-year-old daughter named Emma, who has her mother's curly hair and my stubborn streak. For most of our marriage, life felt ordinary in the best way. We had a small house with a crooked mailbox, a dog named Biscuit who barked at nothing, and a routine that felt safe. Rachel and I met in college, got married in our late 20s, and built a life that, from the outside, looked like it was working. We had disagreements like any couple, about money, about chores, about whose turn it was to deal with the in-laws during the holidays. But nothing that ever felt like a warning sign. I trusted her completely. I never checked her phone, never questioned where she went after work, never had a reason to. That trust is what made everything that came after feel like the floor disappearing beneath me. It started on a Tuesday evening when Emma asked me to help her find her favorite stuffed rabbit in her toy box. I was digging through plastic blocks and stuffed animals when my hand hit something hard and cold, wrapped in an old sock at the bottom. It was a phone, one I had never seen before. My first thought was that it belonged to a neighbor's kid, maybe left behind after a playdate. I turned it on, and it wasn't even locked. The screen lit up with a lock screen photo of Rachel laughing on a beach we had never been to together. My stomach dropped before I even opened a single message. I sat down on Emma's bedroom floor and started reading. The messages went back 4 months. They were between Rachel and a man named Derek, someone I had never heard her mention. The conversation started casual, then turned into something else entirely. There were messages about missing him, about counting down days until they could see each other again, about how she wished things were different. One message from Rachel read, "I hate lying to Mark every single day, but I don't know how to stop now." My hands were shaking as I scrolled further. There were photos too, ones I forced myself to look at even though every part of me wanted to throw the phone across the room. That night, when Rachel came home from what she said was a late shift, I placed the phone on the kitchen table without a word. She saw it and her face went white. "Where did you find that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I told her exactly where, in our daughter's toy box, hidden like a secret too dangerous to keep anywhere else. She tried to explain, said it wasn't what it looked like, said Derek was just a friend from her old job who she reconnected with online. I asked her why a friend needed a separate phone hidden from her own husband. She didn't have an answer for that. Over the next few days, the excuses kept changing. First it was innocent, then it was a mistake, then it was something that just happened and she never meant for it to go this far. I asked her directly, "Are you in love with him?" She looked at me for a long moment before saying, "I don't know anymore." That sentence broke something in me that I don't think ever fully repaired. I started sleeping in the guest room. Emma noticed the tension immediately, even though we tried to hide it, asking why Mommy and Daddy weren't talking at breakfast anymore. Every question from her felt like a knife twisting deeper. I confronted Rachel again a week later, this time with more of the messages printed out, spread across the dining table like evidence in a trial neither of us wanted to be part of. She admitted that Derek lived 2 states away, that they had been talking daily since a work conference reunion, and that she had visited him twice under the excuse of visiting her sister. The lies stacked on top of each other until I couldn't tell which version of my marriage had ever been real. "I never meant to hurt you," she said. I told her that intentions don't erase 4 months of secret phone calls hidden in our daughter's toys. When I finally told my family what was happening, I expected support. Instead, I got something closer to judgment aimed at me. My mother asked what I might have done to push Rachel away, as if her choices were somehow a reflection of my failures as a husband. My brother told me that marriages go through rough patches and that maybe I was overreacting by even considering separation. Rachel's own sister called me and accused me of snooping through private things that weren't mine to find, completely ignoring that the phone was hidden inside our daughter's belongings. Nobody seemed to want to sit with the simple truth that Rachel had built a second life behind my back. I felt more alone during those weeks than I ever had in my entire life. I would sit in my car in the driveway some nights, unable to walk inside, just staring at the house that used to feel like safety. I stopped eating regular meals. I stopped sleeping through the night. Emma would ask me why I looked so tired, and I had no honest answer that a 6-year-old could understand. I remember one night sitting on the bathroom floor with the door locked, replaying every moment of our marriage, wondering which memories were even true and which ones existed only because I hadn't known the whole story. The turning point came on a Sunday afternoon. Rachel had taken Emma to a birthday party, and I sat alone in the house going through old photo albums, trying to find some proof that what we had was worth saving. Instead, I found clarity. I realized I had spent weeks trying to convince myself to forgive something Rachel hadn't even fully stopped doing. She was still texting Derek, still finding excuses to disappear for an hour here and there. I made a decision that afternoon that had nothing to do with anger anymore. It was about respect, both for myself and for Emma. I called a lawyer that same evening and began the process of filing for divorce. Rachel was shocked when I told her. She had assumed, like everyone else, that I would eventually calm down and accept whatever explanation she offered. Instead, I told her calmly that I deserved a marriage built on honesty, not one hidden inside a toy box. The divorce process took several months, and it was not easy, especially with Emma caught in the middle. But I stayed steady for her sake, showing up to every school event, every bedtime, every ordinary moment that mattered more than the chaos happening around us. A year later, Emma and I have built a new kind of normal. We have our own routines now: pancake Saturdays, movie nights, a new dog who has taken Biscuit's old spot on the couch. Rachel and I co-parent civilly, though the friendship we once had is gone for good. Derek is no longer part of Rachel's life either, which tells me everything I need to know about what that relationship was actually built on. My family eventually apologized for their initial reactions, once they understood the full truth. I forgave them faster than I forgave myself for not noticing sooner. What I learned through all of this is that trust, once hidden inside a lie, never fully survives being found. I did not choose to end my marriage out of revenge. I chose to end it because I refused to keep living inside a story someone else was secretly rewriting. Emma is the reason I kept moving forward on the hardest days, and she is the reason I know, without any doubt, that walking away was the bravest thing I have ever done.